Your graphics are not just decorations, they are your sales team. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 design strategies to make sure that your designs on Instagram are making you more sales. If you missed this, you're going to keep spinning your wheels while others are spending their time cashing in. And if you're watching on Instagram, make sure you hit that like button to let me know that you are one of those people that want to start making sales from your Instagram through strategic design. And just make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you how you can get live access and support from me on your Instagram posts. So hi, if we haven't met before, my name is Jacqui and I am a graphic designer who is obsessed with helping business owners like you to create incredible graphics for their businesses so that their brand can look professional and graphics don't have to take them ages so they can stop with the overwhelm and go back to enjoying their business. So this is part 3 in a series I'm doing called Bold Branding for 2025. We've already looked at 3 branding must-haves plus ways that you can stop the scroll on Instagram. Both of these videos are wildly important for you to go back and listen to after this to make sure that you have got the full picture for what I'm sharing with you today. So tip number 1 to making sure that your designs are making you money on Instagram is to make your designs easy to consume. If your designs aren't easy to consume from a design and a strategy perspective, people are not going to consume them. It's as simple as that. We need to make sure that people want to look at our content and read our content. And that is where design and strategic design comes in. So most of the tips I'm going to share now do relate to carousel posts. If you aren't aware, carousel posts are a very strategic way to share to Instagram, especially if you're not keen on doing reels. My strategy is probably an even mix of all of these things: carousels, static posts, so just one posts, and reels. And all of these work really well. They all have different purposes. Reels are really great for reach. Carousels are also really great for reach. And to be honest, I've had good reach from my static posts too. But what we can do is use all of these together and we're going to have a really robust Instagram strategy where it's going to be capturing people that love to consume content on carousels and people that just want a quick static post. Another thing that's really great about carousels is that it gives you 2 chances to make a first impression. If you haven't noticed, when you're scrolling your Instagram, if you scroll past someone's carousel, what Instagram is actually going to do is, I've noticed this even happening the following day. If it's a good performing carousel, like Instagram seeing that people are liking it, Instagram is actually going to re-offer me that carousel, but it's going to show me, instead of showing me the first slide in the carousel, it's going to show me the second slide, the second image in that carousel. So you get 2 chances to make a first impression. This is why we need to be really strategic, not just with our first post design in a carousel, but also with our second post design in a carousel, because Instagram is going to offer it again to people. So my go-to for creating an Instagram carousel post that is actually going to take people on a journey and make them want to actually purchase from you at the end of said journey is what I call hook, curiosity, value, but wait, and then CTA. And so first up is the hook. The hook is where we want to capture people's attention first in. I really recommend designing this with large text. I share a little about this in the previous episode, but large text is going to help people to stop. It's going to capture their attention. If we have really intentional strategic text, like it could be something just as like 5 ways to XYZ, or it can be something like how I transformed my business by eating carrots, or like something like you would click on that. You'd be like, how did she do that with carrots? And so thinking through what's going to capture someone's attention, and not like clickbaity, but enough of a hook that it's going to be like people are going to build interest to that. So put your hook on your first slide. You don't have to like write a heap of information on that first slide. I like to really just do the hook, maybe an extra sentence or less as some kind of expanding on that, especially if I'm doing something really weird, like say if I did the carrots thing, I could be like 5 ways I grew my business, or how I grew my business by eating carrots. And I would say, like in small text, it's not what you think, or the answer may surprise you, that kind of stuff. And so yeah, your first slide would be a hook. Your next slide, this is that slide that might be introduced to people again if they miss your hook, like say they scroll past your carousel, don't see the hook, don't care about the hook. That second slide might capture their attention when Instagram re-shows that to them. You don't have to go straight into sharing the 5 tips. I use that second slide to build curiosity, to build people being like, I could start telling this story of, I never thought carrots would be the solution to my business, but it turns out that it can do X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I'm not a copywriter, I'm a designer, but those kind of that copy and design and marketing, they all go hand in hand. You can't have great design, but really poor strategy. So make sure you're investing in both of those things in your business at all times, design and strategy. And so create that hook, then create a design that's got more curiosity. This design can be more text heavy. You might have some smaller text. Just make sure that design is large enough to read on someone's phone. I recommend when 20 point, you can go a little bit smaller, you can go a little bit larger, but don't go too much smaller than at least that 15 minimum, because people can't read that on their phones easily. So that second slide should be full of curiosity. The next few slides might be 2 slides of value, might be 10 slides of value, but sharing a value. So sharing why carrots work, sharing your 5 tips, sharing X, Y, and Z, sharing that in your value carousel. So you might have, Instagram hasn't limited carousels to 10 posts like it used to. So you can add in quite a few bits of value in here. Just don't make sure it's too much value that people just keep on scrolling, because what comes after the value, we still want them to get to that point. So after the value is when we share a but wait. That's what I call it, at least. And that's this where it's like, you've got this value, but is that the full picture? Like, do you really know how to eat carrots to improve your business? Like, what are you missing? Like, sometimes I might share like some design tips, but at the end I might say, it's all well and good to have these design tips, but you might need some help implementing that. Come and work with me in my program, for example. And so give a bit of a butt weight, give them a reason to want more, give them a reason that this isn't the full picture. And then after that, that's when we want to have a CTA. That's what's going to make you the sales. We can't just have a CTA, a call to action. We can't just have a hook. We need to have all these bits. We need to have that hook, that curiosity, the value, the butt weight, and then the CTA. And you might choose to do this in a whole carousel. You might choose to do this in a caption. You might choose to do this in a reel. But having this kind of full picture helps bring people from seeing your idea and coming around to thinking why your idea and your method is the best, and then seeing why they should work with you and how they can work with you. And so what's really crucial is that CTA is really obvious. So when you're designing, make sure you don't just have a really small, tiny sentence at the bottom saying, please work with me if you want to. No, we want to make sure it's really clear what their next steps are. Your CTA might be something that's not salesy. It might be follow for more or comment below and letting me know your experience with eating carrots, you know. I've really gone hard on this carrot analogy. Or it can be something quite moving them on to a next sales step. And so you might choose to promote a program right then. You might say, join my program, or you might choose to bring them into a freebie. So say, for example, when I promote my programs, I often have like a free checklist or a free this or a free that. And so this post might be promoting that free checklist, and they might go and download that checklist and then go on to purchase from me later on. So that CTA might be like, hey, work with me. And you can choose to have your butt weight and CTA on 2 different slides, or you could choose to have them in one slide, or they might just be in your caption, but make sure you have them somewhere. What is someone's next step to working with you? And so adding in maybe a mock-up of your freebie if you have a mock-up of your freebie, maybe adding in your program logo if that's what you're promoting, adding in something and then giving a clear call to action. And please don't add in your website URL. You can, but that can't be the only call to action, because people are on their phones when they're viewing Instagram. They can't click on your post, even though you can add links and hyperlinks into Canva. They will not translate across into an Instagram post because they don't allow links in the caption and they don't allow links in the actual post to click on. So don't write out your website URL. No one's going to try to remember that and then go across to their browser and type it in. You want to make it easy for them. That's a clincher. The CTA, the call to action, must be easy. So can you instead direct them to the link in your bio? In your Instagram grid, you can share a link there. So maybe you can pop the link to your freebie or to book a call with you, or your program link in that link. And you might say on your post, head to the link in my bio to find out more. You might put a link in your Instagram stories. You can do that as well. Or you might use something like a ManyChat automation where you say comment link. You wouldn't do that. You'd probably like I usually like to have my keywords something around what I'm wanting people to do, like transform, like comment transform, and I'll send you the link. And then you can set up what's called a ManyChat automation. ManyChat is a program and it will automatically send people the link. Or if you don't want to invest in that because you've got quite a small following, you might choose just to get people to comment transform and then you manually go and send them the link. I've got a whole tutorial on what goes into this, and I'll share that with you here or in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast, and you can go and watch that full tutorial on how to add links to Instagram if that didn't make enough sense for you. And my last design tip for when you're doing these kinds of posts is to encourage people to get to the next slide. So make sure you're having arrows or text that says swipe here or swipey swipe or next or arrow, whatever you have, to have something that encourages people to move through your carousel slides and not just stop where they are. And just quickly, from a content perspective, when you are sharing your content, don't feel like you have to have like heaps of posts that are all about your new program or your new freebie. I recommend having maybe one post about your new freebie. If someone comes to your page, you might even pin your post saying freebie here. But what's going to actually perform well is really strategic content that's meeting people where they're at, so that they're then interested in your offer. So you don't have to have like all these posts that are like, buy my course, download this freebie, join now. Instead, create content that builds on the problem that they have, that shares that that you're the expert. So I'm showing an example on the screen now of a post. Feel free to go to my Instagram if you'd like to see it, but pretty much it says how to rebrand your business to make you more sales without losing money. And in that post, I go through and I share tips. You can kind of see how I've used the hook and then the curiosity and all the different bits of information. So I build curiosity and then I go through and I give 3 or 4 tips, I believe. Actually, I think it was 6. I give like 6 really great tips to rebranding your business. And then for my butt weight statement at the end, I say, or if you're ready for a rebrand that helps make you more sales, but you don't want to do it alone, I got you. And then I go into saying to people to join my co-creation design club, because that program's going to let me work with you and we'll do it together. There's this whole process here, but I wasn't promoting the club to begin with. The whole post wasn't join the club and here's why, although I did do a post like that. The posts that do far, far better are the posts that share value, that create desire for what you're having, and then you solve their problem at the end by saying, why don't you join me in my program? So don't get too salesy straight away. Be really strategic in the way that you share your content. Okay, so we've looked at making your content easy to consume and really strategic and adding swipes and arrows. We've also looked at creating an easy CTA, giving people a next step that's really obvious and easy. And the final, this really quick point I want to share with you is we we want to make our posts shareable. Shareable posts mean that your posts get out to more eyeballs. It means that when someone sees your post, they're like, oh, this is so full of value. I totally need to share this with my friend. They share it with their friend. They share it to the Instagram stories. They share it somewhere, and more eyeballs. So they're doing advertising for you. So make your posts shareable. Some really quick tips around this is to not always use pictures of yourself. Pictures of yourself are obviously more personal, and obviously your actual followers are going to resonate with that. But if you're creating posts and content and you think, everyone's going to want to share this and save it and do all the things, maybe don't use pictures of yourself so much. Maybe add a picture of yourself to that last slide to build some rapport with people. But those first few slides, don't feel like you need to add images of yourself. And lastly, make sure you have that really large text. If you go to your Instagram Explore page, you'll see that there's so much large text because that large text is going to hook people in. So use large text there. I've had a brief pause. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that my baby boy has just joined us. He's just woken up, but I really want to finish this recording. So I wanted to let you know that if this stuff has been really helpful for you, if this bold branding thing has been like, yes, I need a bold brand, I want to work on this for my business, and I'm sick of doing it alone. I'm feeling so overwhelmed at all of the pieces of information I see out in the world. I'm feeling overwhelmed of I know I should implement hierarchy. I know I should implement consistent branding, but I don't know what that looks like for my business. I would love to help you. I'd love to look at your Instagram posts and give you feedback. I'd love to help you with your designs, making sure that your branding is really strategic, because strategic branding, consistent professional branding is going to make you money in your business rather than just looking haphazard, looking unprofessional, and not feeling proud of your business and showing up in a way that you love. And so if you'd like to save time and not feel overwhelmed when you're designing your graphics, why don't you join me in my program, DIY Design My Biz? DIY Design My Biz is a self-paced program that you can go through in your own time, learn everything from CANVA to strategic design to logo design, brand design, and all the other bits and pieces you need for a successful online business. You also get access to me in our monthly group calls where I just jumped off one now and we designed logos together. We worked on social media posts together. We worked on lead magnets together. My students shared me their Canva designs and I got to work on their designs with them and for them and give them feedback. So if you're wanting to stop doing designing alone, and you're wanting to actually get out there with your brand that you're proud of, that makes you sales, make sure you join us in DIY Design My Biz. I'm going to pop the link below. You'll also get support from me in a Facebook group. There's all sorts of beautiful things that happen, plus an incredible community. So if you're ready to join us, if you're ready to take your business seriously, if you're ready to be proud of your brand, why don't you join us in DIY Design My Biz? I hope to see you there. Bye.